It started with the group chat. 3 days after the casserole incident, Kendrick got a text from Dorothy. "Hello, dear. I hope you are well. I am making lasagna on Saturday and wondered if you would like some. I can make a pan. Please let the other boys know. DK." Kendrick stared at this for a moment, then, without thinking too hard about why, forwarded it to the crew's group chat. The group chat was called Wolves and had been used exclusively, until this moment, for operational communications, arguments about whose turn it was to drive, and periodic updates from Darius about a stray dog he had started feeding behind his building. Kendrick typed, "Y'all, Miss Dot is making lasagna Saturday. Wants to know if we want some." The responses came instantly. Marcus: "Yes." Big Ray: "Yes." Darius: "Wait, is this the casserole lady?" Kendrick: "Yeah." Darius: "Absolutely yes. Also, my dog had puppies." Big Ray: "Not relevant, Darius." Darius: "All news is relevant." Big Ray. Kendrick texted Dorothy back, "Yes, ma'am. We would all love some. Thank you." Dorothy's response came 4 seconds later. "Wonderful. I will also bring garlic bread. Does anyone have dietary restrictions?" DK. Kendrick showed the message to Marcus, who laughed so hard he had to sit down. "No, ma'am," Kendrick typed. "No restrictions." "Good," Dorothy replied. "Fussy eating is a form of ingratitude, not in your case, obviously. You are guests, I just mean generally. See you Saturday. God bless. DK." Marcus reading over Kendrick's shoulder. "She's got opinions." "She does," said Kendrick. "I like her." Yeah." Saturday, Dorothy showed up at 6 p.m. with lasagna, garlic bread, a Caesar salad, and, just in case, a small apple cake she described as a bonus, not a dessert. There's a difference. She stayed for 3 hours. She told them about Gerald. She told them about her daughter Patricia, who she loved, but who she also described as efficient in ways that make warmth difficult. She told them about her granddaughter Emma, whom she clearly adored with every cell in her body. She told them about her church, St. Michael's, which was going through what she called a difficult period with the new pastor, who is from Wisconsin and thinks contemporary worship music is appropriate for a Sunday, which it is not. They told her almost nothing about themselves, but she didn't seem to mind. She asked questions that were easy to answer. Did you grow up around here? Do you have family? What did you like in school? And she listened like she had all the time in the world, which, at 78, she perhaps felt she didn't, which made the listening more pointed. Marcus told her his grandmother used to make greens on Sundays. Dorothy put down her fork. "What kind?" she said. "Collard," said Marcus. "With ham hocks?" "Yeah." "How long did she cook them?" "All day." Dorothy nodded slowly. "That's right," she said. "That's the only right way. Some people try to rush it. You cannot rush collard greens. They know." She picked her fork back up. "I'll make them for you. Not as good as hers. Nothing ever is, but close." Marcus ate his lasagna. He looked at the table. His jaw moved in a way that suggested something was being worked through. "Thank you," he said. "Of course," said Dorothy, and moved on quickly, the way graceful people do when a moment needs space. After the lasagna Saturday, things escalated. The next Tuesday, Dorothy sent the group chat. Kendrick had added her to Wolves on impulse. He never fully explained this to himself. A Bible verse. "Good morning, boys. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." Romans 12:21. "Have a good day." DK. Darius. "Good morning, Mrs. Dot." Big Ray. "Morning." Marcus. "Morning, Miss Dorothy." Kendrick. "Morning. Thanks for that." Dorothy. You're very welcome. Also, I am making soup today if anyone wants to stop by. Vegetable beef. It is very good for the cold weather. DK. The cold weather was, at this moment, approximately 62 degrees. But all four of them found reasons to stop by that week. Not all at once, one at a time, over different afternoons. Because you didn't want to mob the woman. Because there was something about being in that small house on Marigold Lane, with the bird feeders in the window, and the pictures of Gerald on the mantel, and the smell of something always cooking. That was different from everything else in their days. It was quiet there. Not silent, Dorothy talked constantly, but it was a quiet underneath the talking, a stillness. Kendrick, who had not slept more than 6 consecutive hours in 5 years, fell asleep on Dorothy's couch one Thursday afternoon while she was watching her stories, and she put a blanket over him and let him sleep for 2 hours, and when he woke up, there was a bowl of soup on the coffee table. "You looked tired," she said, not taking her eyes off the television. He ate the soup. It was very good. The second week, Dorothy texted them a recipe for banana pudding. The third week, she texted them a recipe for pot roast with a note that said, "This is for beginners. None of you should go through life not knowing how to make pot roast. It is a life skill, like doing laundry, which I hope you are all doing regularly." DK. Marcus. Do I want to know why she brought up laundry? Big Ray. She noticed the shirts. Darius. What's wrong with the shirts? Kendrick. Darius. Darius. What? Big Ray. You know what? Darius. I've been busy. Marcus. You have been wearing that shirt for 4 days. Darius. It's a good shirt. Dorothy. I can see you boys are talking. That is fine. Just making sure you saw the recipe. The key is the low and slow. No shortcuts, like most things in life. DK. They all stared at the screen for a moment. Kendrick. She sends that, like most things in life, and then just exits. Marcus. She's a philosopher. Big Ray. She's right, though. Darius. About what? Big Ray. All of it. The thing that nearly unraveled everything happened on a Friday night in November. A rival crew had been pushing into territory. Tensions had been building for weeks. There had been words, then more than words. Then the kind of situation that Kendrick had been trying very carefully to navigate because he was 22 and he had been doing this since he was 16 and he was deeply, privately exhausted by it, though he would not have said so out loud to anyone. That Friday, things got bad fast. Nobody got seriously hurt. But it was close. And afterward, sitting in Marcus's apartment at 2 in the morning, all of them wound tight and quiet, Kendrick's phone buzzed. He looked at the screen. It was Dorothy. "Hello, dear. I know it is late and I am sorry to text at this hour. I could not sleep. I was reading my Bible and I thought of you boys for some reason. I hope you are all safe and well. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Psalm 34:18. Good night. DK. Nobody in that room knew how to explain what happened next. Kendrick read the text out loud, and the room went very, very quiet. Not an uncomfortable quiet, not a tense quiet. The kind of quiet that settles over people who have just been handed something unexpected and true. Marcus stared at the wall for a long time. Then he said, "How does she do that?" "Do what?" said Darius, who was notably not wearing the shirt. "That," said Marcus. "That thing." Big Ray looked at his hands. "She pays attention," he said. 7 words. A personal record. Kendrick typed back, "We're okay, Ms. Dorothy. Thank you. Get some sleep." The response came immediately. She had clearly been waiting. "Good. Now you get some sleep too. I mean it. Good night. God bless. DK. And then, 20 seconds later, I am making cinnamon rolls tomorrow morning. Come by if you want them warm. DK. Darius made a sound that was not quite a laugh and not quite a sob, but lived in the neighborhood of both. We going? He said. Yeah, said Kendrick. They all showed up at 9 a.m. Dorothy was in the kitchen in her cornflower housecoat. The cinnamon rolls were warm. She did not ask them anything about the night before. She poured them coffee and talked about how she was worried about Kevin next door, who she had finally successfully texted and who had a cold. She asked if anyone knew how to fix a leaking faucet because the one in the guest bathroom had been dripping for 2 weeks. Kendrick fixed it in 20 minutes while Marcus ate his second cinnamon roll. She never asked, she just fed them. And the food meant, I see you. You are here. You are cared for. Whatever the night was, this morning is different. They all understood this. None of them said it, but they understood. The pivot point, the moment historians of this particular story would later identify as the hinge on which everything turned, happened in the 3rd week of November when Dorothy accidentally sent a voice memo to the group chat. She had been trying to send it to Emma. The voice memo was 47 seconds long. In it, Dorothy could be heard saying, Emma, dear, I am leaving you a message because I know you are busy with your clinicals. I just wanted to say I have been thinking about those young men I told you about. I know what you're thinking. I know what you would say if you were here. But Emma, they come and they sit in my kitchen and they eat my food and they are so… A pause. Hungry. Not just for food. That kind of hungry that people get when they haven't had enough looking after. And I think God sent them to me, Emma. And I know that sounds dramatic. But at my age, you know when something is a coincidence and when it isn't. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. I am making collard greens on Sunday. Gerald's birthday is Sunday. You know how I get. I love you. Bye-bye. The voice memo landed in Wolves at 3:17 p.m. Kendrick listened to it, then Marcus, then Big Ray, then Darius, who was so moved by it that he went and got the stray dog and brought it inside for the first time, which was unrelated but also somehow completely related. For a long time, nobody typed anything. Then Marcus typed, She's making collard greens Sunday. Kendrick, Gerald's her late husband. A pause. Big Ray, we should go. Darius, we should definitely go. Darius, also my dog's name is Gerald now. Felt right. Marcus, Darius, what it's respectful. Kendrick sat for a moment with his phone in his hands. He thought about Dorothy, 78 years old, alone in that house on Marigold Lane on her late husband's birthday, making his favorite food, sending a voice note to her granddaughter because she needed to tell someone that she was okay. Actually, she had found something. She was fine. He thought about how she had driven across town to bring a casserole to a stranger. He thought about the blanket on the couch. He thought about Romans 12:21. He typed a message into the chat. Sunday, all of us, we bring something. She doesn't cook alone on Gerald's birthday. The responses came fast. Marcus, I'll bring the rolls from the bakery on 5th, the ones she liked. Big Ray, flowers. Darius, I can make the… Actually, I can't cook. I'll get plates, nice plates. Actually, I'll get napkins. And Gerald the dog. Kendrick, no dog Darius. Darius, what if he wears a bandana? It's very tasteful. And then, because the moment called for it, Kendrick texted Dorothy directly. Ms. Dorothy, we're coming Sunday. Don't cook everything yourself. We're bringing things. See you at noon. Kendrick. The response took longer than usual, nearly 10 minutes. Well, Dorothy finally wrote, that is very nice. I will still make the greens because no one else makes them right and I won't apologize for that. But yes, Come at noon. I will make extra cornbread. Gerald would have liked you boys, I think. He liked people who showed up. Noon. God bless. DK. Kendrick read the message to the group. There was quiet for a moment. Then Darius. She's our grandma now. Official. No takebacks. Nobody argued with this, because there were no takebacks.